Hey guys, Dr. Utash here, Wellness Key Chiropractic, and it's Workout Wednesday. Hopefully you're joining us live right now. If not, we'll of course have this on Facebook for at least the next week. Today joining us is Nicole Larson, fantastic patient, exercise physiologist, personal trainer, health advocate. So she's going to go over multiple different exercises, really a whole routine that we can do to increase our overall mobility. So without further ado, Nicole, kind of explain what we're doing, why we have three of us here, and what the people on the other side can expect to benefit from.
Awesome. Well, I believe that movement is medicine, and so that's what we're here to do. We're here to move, and with everything going on, maybe your movement patterns have changed a little. Maybe you're sitting more, maybe you're standing more, maybe you're moving less, maybe you're moving more. So what we're going to do is go through some joint mobility and some functional movements today to keep you moving. This can be done in-home with actually no equipment. We do have a couple props that if you have a towel nearby or if you need a chair for balance, you could grab those, or a broomstick. And we're going to be going through, Doc is going to be doing our modifier today. So if you do have some mobility issues and things, he's going to take it down a notch and be doing that. We got Lexi in the middle, and she's going to be just going through the flow. And when we're doing this, we're going to make sure that we're doing it as we're moving through water, a nice slow pace and resistance. And then this is Brett, my husband, and he's going to be doing for if you have maybe an advanced, if you work out, if you're mobile, also too, if you're looking to increase that mobility, this is a great thing to do before performance, before your workout, before your hike, before your bike ride. It's also great to do first thing in the morning just to get that blood flowing. So, are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
You ready? Let's go. All right, we're going to start out with joint mobility. We're just going to do about 30 seconds of each move, but before we get started, I like to prime the body, and I call this priming, and it's just a little shake. It's just a little bounce. It gets that blood flowing, wakes up that lymphatic system, kind of gives you a little wake up to those motor neurons. Just kind of let it go. You don't even have to leave the floor. If you'd like to take it up a little more high intensity, you can add that hump and get a little bit bigger. Okay, if you have bad knees, you just shake side to side. All right, so modifier, you can even walk it out. We're just going to do this for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then we're going to get into just starting from the top down and go through our mobility. So just standing up nice and tall, thinking about that good posture, rolling those shoulders down, putting them in your back pocket, and then looking side to side. We're going to start with the neck. Just some neck mobility here, looking over those shoulders, making sure that you just keep that head neutral. Make sure you breathe, and just taking that breath side to side. Great. You guys all look good. How's it feel? And you may notice one side of your neck might feel a little bit tighter than the other. Just take note of that as you're moving side to side. And then let's bring the chin down towards the chest and just do some half circles here, just to release through that neck. A lot of times we put a lot of tension in those trap areas up in through to the base of that skull. So we want to just release through there, a little side to side, bringing that chin down. Good. Feel good? Are you guys sleeping yet? Then come back into neutral, and we're going to move down that body. We're going to roll those shoulders up, back, and down. So just taking some nice deep rolls, lifting, pulling down, and then dropping those shoulders down that spine, down into that back pocket, making sure those ribs don't flare too much, keeping those guys engaged, rolling up, back, and down. This is some good shoulder movement and mobility. And then let's take it into some bigger circles. So start to spread those fingers wide. Nice big circles back. So kind of doing a little bit of maintenance on our joints here, increasing that blood flow circulation, kind of a lubrication for those joints. And then if you'd like to take it up a notch, you can go alternating, reaching back and through and making it a little bit faster as we go through that. Awesome. You guys are doing so good. The next one is called conductors, and you're going to bring your arms up and you're going to make some circles. And so this is good for that elbow. So if you've got some elbow issues going on, this is good to increase that range of motion. Go both directions, inward and outward. Everybody's doing so good. Going through this mobility. And then the next one is to hold down and go in. So we're going to take it inward. Good. And and then outward. This is where the coordination comes into play. This is where we see people's mobility and coordination. So it's good for the brain as well, making those connections. All right, let's move into a little bit of wrist. So a little flexion and extension, moving up and down. You can even move it with your arms and go up and down. So you're like pulling down and lifting up. So a little bit of movement through those wrists is really important, especially if you're at the computer a lot. If you have a desk job, those wrists tend to need a little bit of exercise and movement. It's good to take little breaks throughout the day and just do these exercises. Taking the wrist another step further, this is what I like to call finger leads. And you're going to start with your thumbs, and you're going to take your thumb and you're going to roll it out. And then you're going to take your pointer finger and you're going to lead with that finger. Then your middle, and then your ring, and then your pinky. And then we're going to reverse it. We're going to come back in. Pinkies down, ring fingers down, middle fingers down, pointer finger down, and thumb down. Good. How do those feel? And then shake them out. Should have felt pretty good. It really wakes up the extensors and flexors of those wrists. And now we're going to move into a little bit more movement, a little twist and pivot here. So you can let those arms hang heavy, or you can bring those arms up a little bit more active if you want a little bit more intensity. And then as you're turning, you want to just push off that toe just a little bit to get that hip to extend and maybe a little bit of glute activation. And just kind of let it go. This twisting is actually soothing. It's good for that body, letting things release, just kind of letting it go. Taking some nice deep breaths here as you twist and pivot. How are we doing?
Good.
Working our way through the body for our joint mobility here. We're going to move through that spine a little further, and we're going to go into side bend. So maybe you start, feet are directly underneath your hips, and you just do a little side to side, reaching those hands down. If you'd like to take it up a level, maybe you bring the hands to the back of the head, and then go side to side. And then if you're going up that next level, you take the arms up overhead, and really reaching, side bending side to side, making sure that you're not leaning forward here. So open up that chest. Really make sure that you're not dumping into that lower back, and you're taking a nice big breath. Inhale as you come up, exhale as you bend, pushing the hips to the side. This is a good one to wake up to in the morning. How's that feeling? Side bends.
Wonderful.
Side bends. You want to keep going?
Yes.
You guys are all synchronized. You're looking good. Are you guys synchronized at home? We're going to go into some hip hinging. So taking those hips and pushing them back, soft bend in the knees, maintaining a flat back and coming up. So this is really going to be how it feels. Listen to your body here. So if you're feeling any pain, any pinching, anything that is causing a sensation that does not feel right, please don't go too far here. But if it feels good, a good stretch, you want to feel that stretch of the backside chain, those hamstrings. Soften the knees a little bit more if you're feeling it too much in that lower back. Good. Taking some nice flat hinges, and if you want to take it up to that next level and make it a little harder, you can take the arms out to the side, or you can take the arms back behind the ears. So if you want to really pushing those hips back, maintaining that flat back, leading with that chest on the way down, leading with that heart. Good. Inhaling down and exhaling up. Just keep that movement going and connecting with your breath. All right, here comes the fun one. Coming up, we're going to work on our hip circles. This is where you see everybody's moves. So here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Hula hoop it. Hula hoop it. Moving around in a nice big circle here, pushing those hips back, making big circles. Not just coordination, but dance moves here.
Oh, no.
Feeling good. And then let's go the other direction. Taking those circles that second direction. Really working on these hips. The hips move in a lot of different ways, so we're going to move in a lot of different ways here.
I've also heard that hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie. You do look a little bit like Shakira over there. I don't know. That's his Shakira move. So you all seen him right here on Workout Wednesday. This is where, cue the music. This is where we're at. All right, come up to center. The next one we're going to do is what we call opening and closing the gate. So you're going to lift the knee up. You're going to open the knee, and you're going to put it back down. So if you need a chair for balance, if not, you can also work on your balance here as you lift the knee, open, bring it down, bring it back in. So we're gonna just take that right side for the next 20 to 30 seconds. Good. And you can stay going the open way and then reverse it and close it. Good. So open it and then lift it to the outside, bring it across the body and set it back down. This is great for that ball and socket joint there at that hip. Really gets those hips to help open up. If you have sciatic piriformis issues, this is really good to help release some of that tension. And let's go to that other leg. So switching over to that other leg, lifting up, opening up to the outside, lifting to the outside, opening, and putting it down. Good. So this is a great morning routine. This routine right now actually probably could count as your elementary PE credits for your at-home school kids. So get them up, get them moving, right? Get them up, get them moving. It can be done from 3 years old to 93 years old. And joint mobility is huge, especially if you're not getting in for your adjustments and you're not in your normal routine. All right, we're gonna move on down to the knees. All right, so bringing the hands to the knees, and we're just gonna work some knee circles here. So this is definitely a move. It's a little old school. Now here comes the funky chickens. Let's see, let's go the other direction. Moving around those knees, getting those knees warmed up. And then moving in, try to move them both in. Oh yeah, we're gonna get fancy here. Let's see this. This is the fun part. I wish I could see you guys at home. And now try to reverse it, take it backwards.
Maybe you can comment or like who's doing it the best right now.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Is this also dropping it low?
This is, yeah, dropping it low. Drop it low. We're gonna get low. We're just warming up. Don't hurt yourselves yet. All right, and then come up to standing. We're gonna move to some ankle. We're moving down the ankles, and the ankles can be the forgotten, but also an area that is locked down a lot. So we're gonna stand. You can hold on to a chair for balance if you need to. We're gonna point and flex. So go ahead, point and flex that toe. Maybe make some circles. Also, you can work on your balance here. Maybe write your name. That's always a good one. So right through cursive or print, whichever way you'd like to go there.
Let's go print.
Print, you're printing? Okay. Yeah, cursive isn't even a thing now, is it? We're dating ourselves. Let's take it to the other side. So making those circles, pointing, flexing, circle left, circle right, writing your name, maybe your last name on this side. And one more I call rockers. You're gonna bring the foot forward, 1 foot forward. You're gonna flex into that heel. And then you're gonna shift forward like you're walking and you're moving forward. Your toe behind you is going to point, and you can even rise up onto the ball of the foot of that front foot and then rock back, flex, and then reach. So you're just gonna rock forward and back. And just do that heel toe motion. Feel yourself rolling through that foot, pushing off, strengthening those muscles down there around that ankle, giving that ankle a little bit of stability and mobility. Good, and now let's go rocker second side. So take that other foot out, heel down, toe lifted, and rock through. Lift and come back through. And maybe one side might feel a little different than the other. Maybe you're not getting that dorsiflexion, that toe coming back as far on one side. And that can really affect your gait and your walking pattern and, well, everything else, right?
Yeah.
Posture, alignment. So all these things too are also meant to not only decrease some of your aches and pains if you do them, you can do them daily, but also to improve performance and also decrease the risk of injury. So if you're going out for a run, if you're going out for a hike, these are all good things. You guys ready to do the workout?
Let's do it.
Okay, so that was our joint mobility. We're gonna move on to more of a dynamic functional movement. Dynamic functional movements, pushes, pulls, squats, hinges, lunges, rotations, walking. Okay, so we're gonna go into a little bit more intensity. You can use your prop if you grabbed a towel or a broomstick, or if you happen to have a yoga strap, or if you don't have anything at home, we can just do it without anything moving through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the shoulder pass-throughs. So this is gonna help open up the shoulders. I happen to have a broomstick here. Plug the shoulders down, soften the knees. Make sure the core stays engaged. You want to anchor those ribs, and you're just going to bring that stick or that towel or that strap or those arms up to where you feel it feels good, and then release it back down. So continue to breathe, and our ultimate goal here is to be able to do a pass-through. Brett, do you have that for me? All the way through. There we go. And so slowly, you just keep working yourself back a little further and further until you get that mobility where you can bring that stick, keeping your ribs anchored, down, back, and away. And for a lot of people, this is where our limiting factors are when we're doing overhead work and presses and things like that for workouts where we have shoulder impingement problems and overhead reaching problems. So this is a great chest opener. It's a great back worker. You're putting a little bit of tension in through that, making sure you connect it with your breath. How are we guys doing? Are we starting to warm up now? Yes, it's starting to get a little toasty in here. We've got about 15 seconds left on this shoulder pass. And then we're going to move into another movement for the lower body, the backside chain, and start to engage through the core a little bit more. Great. You guys are doing good with that. Did you feel that you were getting a little further each time? Trying to keep those arms straight, move yourself back and through. Good. And that's the shoulder pass. We'll finish up with that one. We'll move into what we call the pump. And so we're going to walk down onto the floor, and I'll show you the modifier after I show you the first move. You're going to take your feet nice and wide. You're going to push the hips back. You're going to kind of chop through the hips with this hinge. Nice flat back. Feel that stretch through those hamstrings. Soften the knees so that your hands can reach to the floor. Try to keep your legs as straight as you can. You're going to walk yourself out into this high plank, making sure that those hands are directly under the shoulders. You're going to lift, push through, reach one arm, reach the other arm, and then walk yourself back. Reach yourself all the way up. Now, if you're doing a modifier, you're going to come to a chair. Bring your hands up. Hinge forward. Bring your hands to the chair. Shift yourself forward. Shift yourself back. And then come and rise up. Okay? So you're not going all the way to the floor. You're modifying it. Another one in the middle is not using that arm reach. Just walking yourself down and walking yourself back. And then also, too, another one is to go faster with this. So once you kind of get that, if you want to bring that heart rate up, kind of walk the hands a little faster. So Brett will show that as we go a little quicker. He'll come down a little faster. He'll walk it out, keeping that core engaged. Reach, reach, and then walking back. Good. Nice, Loxley. How's that feeling through the backside, everybody? Nice stretch through those hips. Nice stretch through the backside, the hamstrings, the calves. Making sure you're not feeling this in the lower back. And if you are, soften the knees a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of space. Or take the feet a little bit wider. So these are pumping out. Our heart rate's coming up with this. We're working on core engagement. And we're lengthening through that back side. Good. We'll take another 10 seconds here on those pumps. Moving on to our next move. So this workout is not like your burst workouts. This is a workout that can be done on a recovery day. It can also be done, it's before a workout. It can also be, for some people, it can be your workout. So come on up. We're going to move into a lateral movement because it's really important to really go lateral as well as everything forward as what we do all day. So we're going to take those feet nice and wide, and we're just going to go into a nice side-to-side lunge. Now, Doc, you're going to stay here doing that nice side-to-side lunge. Loxy may get a little deeper. And Brett is going to go into what we call a Cossack lunge, which he's lifting the toe and sinking down deep. So, trying to get as deep, and you're going to go to where you feel comfortable going and staying out of that knee. So make sure when you go side to side, the hips are going back. The knee is behind those shoelaces. So really sinking that hip back. And if you're going to drop down nice and low, making sure that that heel stays down on the floor as you go side to side. Good. How's that feeling through those hips? This is great to help open up those adductors, those inner thighs. Also great engagement for that back side. Are you breathing? Now let's take it up to that next level and let's add a little rotation with this. So as you go to the side, let's open up through the chest and add that rotation for the last 20 seconds. And if you're down deep, good. Reaching across that body. Maybe you reach all the way to that toe. Maybe you reach to the knee. Good. really warms up the body. Lifting that toe up. Well done. And let's come on into continuing to go through the back side of the legs, called Frankenstein's. Arms are going to go up overhead or straight out in front of you, and you're going to reach that leg up. So you're taking an alternating kick. Now, if it's not coming up that far, take it to the knee, take it to the shin, take it to the thigh. Okay, so you're going to be about thigh height. You can also add a little rotation with this. So you're doing a little cross body work here, flexing that toe and lifting through that leg. Good. And then if you want to, you can take this up a little bit quicker for a little more heart rate pumping. Nice press through the heel. Good. So yes, arms can stay down, arms can go up, arms can go across that body. Got about another 20 seconds here. Oh, good. The air came on. Just in time. Because squats are coming next. Good. How's that feel through the back sides of those legs? I hope that you guys are feeling that lengthen through those hamstrings on the back side. Good. All right, ready to move into some squats. So when you're squatting, a modifier is to put a chair back behind you or hold on to a chair, either one, sinking those hips back, keeping the weight back in the heels, making sure the knees don't shoot out of the toes. So really think about hinging those hips back, keeping that chest lifted. Modifier right in the middle, just a nice deep squat. And then if you want to take it to that next level, you can take it down a little deeper past 90 degrees. You may need to turn your toes out a little bit for that as you go. Good. Nice. Now if you want to take this squat to the next level, you can also add a rotation. It's great to rotate. So you would drop down into your deep squat, bring your hand to the inside of that knee, open up that chest and rotate, switch to that other side, and then drive through those hips and heels and come back up. Sink back down, open and reach and rotate. And you can do this at any level. Hand can be on the knees, getting a little thoracic spine rotation in there with this and a little hip opener as well. Good. How are we doing? We have about 10 seconds left on these squats. Keep going. This is where it starts to get hard. Those legs burning? Just a little bit.
My bird legs are chirping.
Up, down, and come on up. Nice job. Moving into some reverse lunges. This is great to help that hip open. So you're going to take a step back. You're going to make sure that pelvis is stacked underneath those shoulders in a nice line. You're going to sink down, making sure that this leg stays straight. You should feel a nice stretch here. Weight is in my front heel, 90-degree bend in both knees. I'm driving out of that front foot to come forward. I'm going to do an alternating reverse lunge. Now how deep you go, you can stay elevated or you can go a little deeper. Light touch to the floor with the knee if you want in the middle. Keep it a little higher if you're doing a modifier. And if you want to take it up to that next level, as you go back, the arms sweep up. So go ahead, Brett, arms go up. So that's going to give you a little bit more extension. Feel a little bit more through that hip. Arms over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hip over knee. Everything in a nice line. Making sure that you're pressing into that front heel to drive up. There we go, good. How's that feeling? Good. The biggest thing I see here is a lot of people tilt through that pelvis. You want to make sure that that core stays engaged and that pelvis stays strong. So you may not go as deep, and that is fine. Just make sure that you're feeling that nice little stretch and that nice hip opener. It's active range of motion here and activation all together. We've got 10 seconds left on those reverse lunges. Make sure you're breathing, taking a nice inhale on the way back, a nice exhale brings you up. Good. And we're moving into the next one, which I like to call the greatest stretch ever. So if you're going to do one of these before you do any kind of activity or pick one for the day, this is the one to do. Okay, so you're going to come down into a high plank position onto the floor, and I'll show you your modifier. You're going to bring your foot to the outside of your hand. So option to drop into the knee here or keep that foot lifted. Then we're going to add a little rotation in here, reaching and opening up, plugging, trying to stack the shoulders on top of one another. Come down, switch out that foot, open up that hip, and rotate to that second side. So if you're doing this as a modifier, you're going to be on the chair. Hands on the chair, the foot comes up to the chair, we come into a nice lunge. and we rotate through there. Okay, so here we go. You can come up and down, and you can also put that pump that we did if you'd like to come out of this rotational lunge. So taking that twist, your goal is to get your foot up beside your hand. Yep, there we go, nice. And you can put your foot up along the side of the chair there, Doc. Get a little bit more hip opener. Yeah, there it is, good. And rotating towards that front bent knee. Option to drop that knee down in the back. If you need a little bit of assistance, it's also working through the core. Option to straighten those legs and push the hips back and come back up into that walkout that we did at the beginning to take a break. But your core should be firing up right now. Those hips should be opening up. You should be feeling that foot come a little bit wider to the outside of that hand every time. Good. Foot to the outside. You've got 10 more seconds left over here. How's that feeling?
Good.
Good. You got a little rotation. Brett's starting to work up a sweat. How we doing, Moxie? Good. Good. All right. And you guys from right there can come all the way down onto your bellies onto the floor. So we're going to come down onto the floor and we're going to finish out here. We're going to go into a scorpion. Option for arms out into a T, or cactus arms bent at 90 as a modifier if you'd like that, or hands right beside your chest like you were to do a push-up. Perfect. You guys are awesome. Everybody got into their positions. I like it. So you're going to bend your right knee. You're going to lift that thigh up off the floor. So reach and extend that hip. And then you're going to open up that hip and twist your body over to the side of the scorpion. The goal is to start to bring that foot up towards that elbow or that hand and open up, trying to keep that shoulder down. And then slowly roll back down. Hip, thigh, knee, ankle. Peel up on the second side, same way. So bend the knee, lift the thigh, open the hip, rotate over. Once you hit that spot, take a nice deep breath. Exhale, come back in, roll back over. Just keep moving from side to side here. As you go through it, you can pick up the pace as long as you're staying out of that lower back. Good. Just taking it side to side for the next 20 seconds, reaching up, opening up that hip, trying to keep those shoulders down and square towards the floor. Well done. You guys are looking good. Someday the toes will touch the fingers. Or the elbows. Someday, right? All right. Now we're just going to continue on. You're going to flip onto your backs. So coming all the way onto your backs, we're going to come out into that arm T position for this next one. Palms facing up. Plug the shoulders down. You're going to pull the belly in towards the floor. We're going to straighten the right leg and extend it straight up 90 degrees from your hip. Reach up. How's those hamstrings feel? Flex that toe, and then wherever you are, take that leg across the body. So cross over, trying to keep the shoulder down on the floor and not kick your friend in the face. Good. And then inhale back into center, keeping that spine pulled down, that belly engaged, lower that leg down, and let's go to the other side. So lift, cross. Good. You guys are playing footsies over here. Lift, and come back down. And then you can pick up that pace and go a little quicker if that feels good to you. If it is too much on those hamstrings and you're feeling too much pull through that lower back, you can also bend that knee for a modifier there. So an option for a softer knee, or pressing that heel out away from you to get a little bit stronger through that thigh, through that hamstring, and through that hip. How are these rotations feeling? Good? You guys doing all right? We're almost there. We can't have a functional movement workout without working the most important part of the body, and that is the backside chain. Opening up the front side. So our next move is a hip bridge. So you're going to bring the heels towards your butt, bend your knees. Arms can come down by your sides, palms facing up. You're going to push through the heels. You're going to activate the glutes and lift the hips. So making sure that you're not arching into that lower back, that you're using your glutes, the back side of your body, to lift your hips up and then slowly come down one vertebrae at a time, rolling yourself on down, making sure that belly stays engaged. So keeping your feet hip-width distance apart, good, and getting a nice extension through those hips. Ultimately trying to get a straight line between the knee, the hip, and the shoulder without arching into that back. Really driving the feet down, going with your breath here, working those glutes together. Think about maybe dragging those heels closer to your back side to help you lift up a little bit higher. Up and down you go. You've got about 8 seconds left here. How's that feeling back there? We don't work this enough, especially if we sit a lot. We're sitting all day. This is not turned on. So this is a good way to take some posture breaks to help open up those hips in the front and turn on that back side. All right, one more to go. Are you guys good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna bring those knees in. We're gonna do a curl and a reach. So you're gonna grab, pull those knees in, tuck the chin, curl into a nice tight ball, pull that belly in, and then you're gonna inhale, reach everything long as far as you can. Reach your toes, reach your fingertips, reach, stretch. Try not to arch into that back, pull that belly in strong, and then exhale, curl it all in. In and out, here we go. Yeah, I snuck some ab work in here, I'm sorry. Reach, get long, big extension. And then exhale, bring it all in, crunch it in, round yourself into the smallest ball that you can. Finishing up here, this is your last 20 seconds. Squeezing it in, rounding through that spine, lengthening through that spine and that whole body. Good. 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and finish with a nice hug of those knees and a little rock side to side. So just rock yourself, rock and roll left and right, rock yourself forward and back. Rocking's very soothing and a good way to massage that spine. Maybe make some hip circles with those knees. Little release here through that lower back. So choosing a couple of these exercises, going through this motion and this mobility is a great way just to stay moving, to keep those joints active, to decrease any aches and pains that you may have, increase performance, and decrease the risk of injuries. So thank you guys for joining me. Nice job, everyone.
And
Well
everyone,
done.
gather around, high five. Thank you, Nicole. Awesome. And thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.